Okay, our second one that we're going to try out off of our assignment dealing with these using our completing the square method to solve that may or may not have imaginary solutions. We're going to go with number 12 off of your worksheet. So I've got 5x squared plus 5x plus 7 equals 0. So similar to what I did before, I'm going to subtract 7 from both sides. And I get 5x squared plus 5x equals negative 7. On the left side, it works out pretty nice for us because when I divide by 5, we just get x squared plus x, let's put in our blank, equals negative 7/5. Okay, got that all set up, ready to complete this square. So let's get ourselves a little more room, get things situated. Something squared, x, plus, well, my coefficient here is a 1, so half of 1 is 1/2. Square 1/2 gives me 1/4, so I'm going to have to add 1/4 to the other side. Okay, everything looks good there. Let's see, negative 7/5 plus 1/4. Let's do a little side work. Negative 7/5 plus 1/4. Get a common denominator of 20. So it looks like I get negative 28 over 20 plus 5 over 20. That's going to be negative 23 over 20. That one doesn't look like it's going to work quite as nice for me, but we'll work with it. We'll make it work. So that was, I believe, negative 23 over 20. Okay, more room again. Okay, we're ready for the square root. So I take square root of both sides. Plus, minus. Now this is going to take a little bit more simplifying with this guy than we have had in the past. So I'm going to actually make sure that I give myself plenty of room and split this up and work through this. So on the left side, I've got x plus 1/2 equals, I'm going to split it up to square root of the numerator over square root of the denominator, or x plus 1/2 equals square root of the numerator over square root of the denominator, but we need a negative in front, so I'm going to put my negative right there. Yeah, that gets kind of messy. I'm going to do a couple things here in the same step. I'm going to subtract 1/2 from both sides. So I'm going to get x equals negative 1/2 plus square root of, let's break it up to 23 and negative 1. Denominator, 4 goes into 20. 4 has a nice square root. My leftover would be 5. Similar thing over on the right side, but I'm going to come back to that. I'm going to stick through with my first one, simplify it, and then we'll come back to our other one so we're not jumping back and forth. So doing what we can here, negative 1/2 plus square root of 23 does not work out nice. We've got an I from our square root of negative 1. Square root of 4 is 2, square root of 5. Okay, I need to rationalize that expression now, which means that I need to multiply top and bottom by square root of 5. That's not what we wanted. And my pen disappeared. There we go. So x equals negative 1/2 plus I square root of 23 times square root of 5 would be square root of 115. Which 23 and 5 were both prime, so that's not going to simplify any more nicely for us. 2 times square root of 5 squared, I multiply square root of 5 times square root of 5, that's just 5. Okay, now I've got two fractions. I want to combine them into one fraction. I'm going to multiply to get a common denominator 5 over 5. X equals negative 5 over 10. Plus I square root of 115 over 10. Finally, I can combine those into one big fraction. X equals negative 5 plus I square root of 115 over 10. There's one of my solutions. A little bit messy, but we got it. There's an imaginary solution to my equation. Now, to make this easy on the other side, I know that this part should rationalize to be the same thing as the fraction did in my first solution, except I'm going to have minus in between. So the only thing that's going to change is instead of right here, negative 1/2 plus all of this, it would be negative 1/2 minus all of that, which would mean when we get a common denominator, it would be negative 5 minus I square root of 115 over 10. Throwing x equals out in front, there is our second possible solution.